Welcome to the next episode of Long Island TikTok. Today we're here with Joe Mele, and we're so excited that we finally got to have you sit down with us and talk about how you got started on TikTok. So go for it.
How I got started, well, thank you guys so much for having me. This is such a cool opportunity. How I got started, I guess I was just one of those people that was just like randomly scrolling on Instagram and stuff, and I was just seeing so many videos that were coming from TikTok. Like a lot of people were just reposting TikToks onto Instagram, and I was like, oh, what is this? I guess I'll just, download it and see what's good. And I honestly fell in love with it. It was very addicting, just very easy going through like very quick videos, just scrolling and scrolling. And I was only on it for like a few weeks, never posting any videos. And I was like, oh, this actually seems kind of fun. Like, let me give it a try. And I was only posting videos for like my friends, for them to see, because I had like 3 followers. And yeah, I just started filming, and then like one of them randomly blew up, and I guess it kind of just snowballed from there.
Do you remember which one blew up for you?
Yeah. So it was, which was weird, was I posted the very first video I posted. Didn't really get any traction, and then like I posted a few videos later, and it was actually my dad and I in the car, and I don't know if you remember, there was like a trend. It was like, Dad, how many likes do I have to get on this video for you to stop smoking? and he doesn't smoke, so I thought it was funny, like that interaction. And at the time I think it got like 30,000 views in a day, and that was like insane.
Yeah.
And then the very first video was like me playing the piano, and that blew up after that video blew up. So it was kind of weird how that worked, but that was the first one.
Speaking of your dad, is that like how he first got involved? Was it really, because we know you do a lot of videos specifically with your dad. Was it hard to get him to like do all these videos with you?
No, not really, because we've always been like just like a very like funny family, and we did videos just for like ourselves, kind of, not like very like sketched out videos and everything, but we just did videos and sent it to our friends and just funny stuff like that. But like no, and as soon as the views started coming in, and he was pretty much on board because he loved it. It was funny.
So how has TikTok changed your career? I'm assuming that TikTok is your career right now.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that.
Originally I was going to college. I kind of bounced around a lot. I was pursuing nursing, and then I was pursuing finance, and I got into business school, and I was kind of bouncing around. I didn't really fall in love with necessarily anything. And then when I started doing TikTok and started getting views and stuff like that, I wasn't getting paid immediately, but I saw the views and the followers coming in. And so I decided to drop out of business school and pursue social media full time, and it's just in every aspect of my life changed everything.
So that happened around the pandemic,
yes,
or the start of the pandemic.
Yes. So it was a little bit before the pandemic where I started making videos on the regular, like posting 7 times a week. And like I said, wasn't making anything from it. I was just doing it for fun, had a few 100,000 followers. But when the pandemic happened and I was sent home from school, I was really taking it seriously then, because I had no distractions, no school, no homework, no nothing. So that's when it really exploded.
Your homework was TikTok.
Yes. Your homework, yes.
So kind of what is your process like when you do make these TikToks, from the idea spurring to all the way to filming to posting? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I guess it really depends on which type of video we're filming. So we kind of have 2 different ones where it's like, taking advantage of trending content that's going on, or just like a very sketched out video with, nobody else is doing it, just like my dad and I interactions or family interactions. So I get a lot of inspiration by just like scrolling on TikTok, but I also gain a lot of inspiration with just like everyday interactions that I have with my family. So when I get that idea, I kind of just like lock myself up in my bedroom, write everything out, kind of brainstorm it, how I want to film it, which angles, who I want involved and stuff like that. And then I kind of pitch the idea to whether it's my girlfriend, my dad, my mom, whoever. We set everything up, we film it, and if we like it, great. I'll edit it, I'll put it all together, and then we post it and see how it does. And sometimes I don't post the video the day of. Maybe I'll keep it in the drafts and wait for a rainy day. But yeah.
So how long does that process look like? Is it a couple of days? Like, do you have a specific day that's just content day of the week, or?
No, so it's pretty much 7 days a week. Like we from morning till night we're really doing it.
And it's just you creating or I guess coming up with the ideas, right?
Yeah, it's just me. I don't delegate any of that work. I do, the ideas, the editing, the filming, the lighting, everything myself.
Cool.
Yeah, it depends. To answer your question, like some videos literally take like, no exaggeration, 15 seconds. I mean, it'll take 2 seconds to film it. You post it, and some of those videos are the ones that get 50 million plus views, and it's just funny. And then other times, like when there's makeup involved and costumes and longer videos and scripts and stuff like that, it could take like 45 minutes to an hour to film, but the editing also takes another 45 minutes, so always a couple hours usually.
And your dad is just like all on board with it.
He's just chilling. Yeah,
I love that.
Did your parents have anything to say about it becoming a career? Because I know like they're a different generation. Like we all grew up with social media, and I think a lot of people have shifted to social media as their job. I mean, it's our job too in a different way, but and I know for my parents, they're like, "What are you doing?"
My dad doesn't understand what I do.
Yeah, neither does my parents.
Get it.
Was that the same with your parents, or?
Yeah, so they were definitely very apprehensive at first, especially when I told them like, "Hey, I'm gonna fully drop out and I'm gonna pursue social media," and that, like I said, was before I started making any sort of money on social media, and they didn't understand it. They were like, no, like, God forbid, like let's go to school, let's get an education, get a degree, get a job, and then you could do it on the side. But yeah, I guess it's just the generational thing, like you said. Like I always watched YouTubers and or not TikTokers, but all these other people on social media making so much money and buying cars and buying homes and all this stuff. So I knew it was possible and it was achievable. So I kind of convinced them, and then once they eventually saw the numbers growing and all of this stuff, then they were like on board fully and supported me fully.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have a lot. I mean, you have like the main characters in your video. It's you, your dad, and now your girlfriend is pretty like involved in the process. But we also sometimes see your mom and your brothers. So are we going to see more content with them in the future? And like, do you have to convince your mom and your brother to be in the videos as much as you do with your dad? So what does that look like?
Yeah, so they're a little bit more difficult to get on board. I mean, not that they don't. It's not that they don't enjoy it, but they're just like my mom. She's like, I'm a terrible actor. Like I don't want to do it. And so she's a little bit more difficult to get on board. But I mean, if I need her for something, she's right there. Same with my brother as well. But yeah, I think if the content makes sense to have my mom in it or my brother in it, then like we'll definitely incorporate them. But like you said, I think the main three is just like my dad, Angela, and I, and we just if it makes sense, like I said, we'll incorporate mom and my brother. But definitely there will be in future videos for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I do see a lot with you guys making fun of Angela's accent, and more particular, your dad rating the accent.
Dad rating my girlfriend's accent.
Ball.
Pass me the ball. No, it's give me the ball.
Her.
It's her. 0 out of 10.
So talk a little bit about that idea process, especially being from Long Island. That kind of, I mean, we can all relate to that. Our moms are like that.
Yeah. So that series has been going on for a while now, and it's definitely my most viewed series. I mean, I don't know how many parts we've done now, maybe 20, 30 videos, but like all of them just do crazy numbers. Yeah, I don't remember specifically like what was going on. Yeah, what sparked it, but obviously my dad's New York accent has been a very like infamous thing on my channel. So
it's New Yorker.
I guess I just like incorporating my girlfriend, which everybody loves, and my dad with the accent and stuff. I think it just kind of came together one day. We kind of posted it just to test it, and I think the first video got like 60 million views. And I was like, all right, we gotta keep doing this.
So is she from Long Island too, or?
No, she's from New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she doesn't get the accent.
Back to Jersey. Dad!
No, she doesn't
I
understand.
feel like it goes hand in hand, though. Like, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I know there's a big rivalry between New York and New Jersey, but there are a lot of similarities,
No,
I got to say.
It's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. I mean, I feel like Angela and I have similar accents. I don't even know if you would call it an accent, but my dad is like very, very
It's
like New
thick.
York.
So would you say the consistency of continuously posting like the series is the key to your success? Like what do you think is what contributes to your videos getting all these millions of views?
Yeah, consistency definitely plays a big part in it, but also you need to differentiate your content as well. Like if I posted dad rating girlfriend's accent 7 days a week, people will get tired of it. So I like to space it out, and we do, you know, dad jokes, dad rating beauty products, NFL teams,
Yes,
you know,
I've seen
all of those, all the above, and incorporating trends and stuff like that. Like I think it's extremely important to differentiate your content and just try different things. Like we do sometimes music, we incorporate instruments, we incorporate singing and dancing and all this stuff, but it all has all around like the general sense of comedy.
Right.
But we do a whole different array of things.
I see that you also reply to comments a lot with new videos. So do you feel that your audience fuels your content as well?
Absolutely, yeah. There's so many times where I'm scrolling in the comments, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's an ingenious idea, and I just love, you know, pinning it on the video, giving them the props and the creds and everything, and it does well, and I think it inspires a lot of the viewers too to like throw even more ideas out. So it's like oh, perfect, yeah, it works.
Right. It makes sense because it shows them that you're paying attention to what they want and also replying instead of, you know, sometimes a lot of influencers when they get really big, they kind of just forget about their comments section and it's like you're talking to nobody in a sense. And the fact that you show that authenticity is like everything, I think.
Yeah, no, when we post videos, I mean, both my parents especially are going through it like all day long. And I do as well. I mean, sometimes when there's like over 10,000 comments, it's tough to get through all of them. But, you know, for the most part, for the first like couple hours of the video, I'm like going through the comments, liking and replying and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, it's fun.
Have you noticed your parents showing more of an interest now that you've involved them? They'll be like, oh, have you seen this TikTok?
Absolutely. Oh my God, all day long. If they see something on TikTok that they think is funny or they, you know, I can get inspired by it to like create something like that, they'll send it to me, and yeah, they're obsessed with it.
So you have like a little team with you now.
Yeah, I do. It's incredible, and I'm very blessed to be working with so close with my family, and I'm starting to incorporate my friends and stuff in it too. So it's fun. Yeah.
That's cool. One of your most famous videos, I would say, is dressing up your dad as the food critic from Ratatouille.
Dress your dad up as the food critic from Ratatouille and the boys will give you 3 million likes?
So I know that you've done it a couple of times. Have you tried to expand on that idea at all?
Yeah, we've done it several times.
We've done this 47 million times already. I'm not doing it.
But people can't get enough, apparently.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to take him out in public in that costume?
We definitely toyed with the idea. We've played with the idea a few times. I think it's difficult in public sometimes because it's just you're outside. There's a lot of people around. Also, like things that people don't realize, like wind and lighting and stuff like that, like could really mess up the video.
Yeah.
But we've done a couple videos in public, and it is very difficult to film, and I get a lot of anxiety going out and like a lot of people around and stuff like that. Like when I'm at home and I'm focused and I'm filming by myself and in a comfortable setting, that's where I feel like I perform my best. And I think the same with everybody else involved too. Like when there's a lot of people watching and outside factors, I think it's like it's a little awkward. It's almost like it's like embarrassed to do that.
You feel like staged in a way.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's tough to do that, but I think eventually that would be something to do. But yeah, with the Ratatouille videos, we've done so many different like
variations
of it. Yeah, we've done so much of it, but that's definitely been a very fun little thing to do on our account.
Did you guys always think that he looked like
I was just going to say, did you make the connection or did somebody
so it was TikTok that really...
So truthfully, I've still yet to see the movie. I don't... Yeah, I still haven't seen the movie.
Classic.
I think my dad and mom watched it because they're like, oh, we have to watch it now. Like, we have to. I've yet to see it. I haven't seen the movie. But no, I was actually going through my Instagram DMs, and I screenshotted it, so I have the person who gave me the idea. I screenshotted DMs, and it was someone that like sent the picture of the food critic and was like, "Hey, your dad looks like this. You should dress him up." And that's all it took. And I don't think I had a video idea for that day. And I was like, we'll try it. And I printed out a picture. I showed it to my dad. He's like, yeah, I could probably like do the makeup. And I think we have a vest and a this and a scarf and everything and the glasses. We gel my hair back and we did it. And it it just went ballistic. It just went insane. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, I feel like I wouldn't have even made the connection until like seeing him with all that. That's so funny that he had everything, all the pieces to it too.
Right.
And
Yeah, since that video, then we started making other connections with like other cartoons or famous like celebrities and stuff, where we were like, okay, we should do this and we should do that. But yeah, that individual who sent me that gave me the idea.
Wow.
Who would you say your dad looks the most like?
Well, I think the food critic is actually spot on. Like,
right?
It's kind of ridiculous. Like when he dressed up the first time, we were like, whoa.
It's scary.
Yeah, there's the other cartoon characters too, like the Dracula from Hotel Transylvania.
Okay,
a lot of people say Nicolas Cage. I don't know if I see it, but a lot of people do say that. Yeah, there's just so many people that he looks like, which is so funny now that it just comes out of the works.
And now you have Angela doing it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Family Guy.
Get her to say PETA the horse is here. Angela, come here.
I'm embarrassed.
You look fine. Come on.
PETA, the horse is here.
Yes. Yeah. So I think she does sound like Lois from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Not that she looks like her, but we ordered her a costume because we were like, we have to. Like, it'd be so fun. She was pretty on board right away. I mean, obviously, I didn't put her behind the camera the first day we met. You know, we were talking for a very long time before.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
First date vibe.
Yeah, major red flag.
Yeah.
But, we talked about it, and I told her the benefits of it and how much potential she could have individually with her accounts. And then, you know, she trusted the process, and she's killing it now too. So that's what she does full time as well.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your life on Long Island and growing up here?
Yeah, so I was born here, and my parents were born. My dad grew up in Queens. My mother grew up in Stony Brook, so not too far. But I've been very blessed. I mean, Long Island is absolutely gorgeous, and you got beaches literally 5 minutes from wherever you are.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful area, and just been blessed with all the farms and the wineries and there's so many things to do. So had a great time.
Do you have
Still having a great time. It sounds like I'm leaving. But,
Do you plan to stay here?
I do. Yeah, okay. I do. I think like when I was younger, I was like, I want to live in Hawaii and all these other places and stuff. But as I grow up and mature, I think like I appreciate Long Island so much more. And I do a lot of traveling too with like events and all this stuff. And I just always miss Long Island every time I leave. So.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a specific memory that you have from your life growing up on Long Island that kind of shaped the way you think about Long Island?
I don't have a specific memory. I do enjoy this one place. It's like in Orient, all the way out in the East End on the North Fork. There's like a giant rock in the water, and there's like a rope attached to it, and you can like climb up the rope and you jump off in the water, and that's something that I love to do annually. I've been doing that for years now, like with friends and family and all these people. So
here on Long Island, have you noticed that people are recognizing you a lot when you're just out in your hometown or anywhere around here?
Yeah, so it started when I had like I think a couple million followers. It started then, and then like, you know, of course as we grow and post more and get more viral content, it happens more and more frequently. But it's always really good interactions. Like I love meeting people and telling, you know, they tell me such cool stories of how they saw my content or what video they saw and stuff like that. So I always love it. It's such a cool thing. I've had very, very, very few weird interactions or bad interactions, but every 99.9% of them is just all fun and games.
So where do you feel like you see the most of your fans, I guess, when you're here?
Mm-hmm. I think if I'm like at malls or like shopping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or in like populated areas and stuff like that, I see a lot of people. Sometimes at gyms, like if I go to the gym, people will come up. But it's like like I said, it's always so much fun.
That's what Becca said to us too. She said like when she's going to the malls here, everybody recognizes her.
Yeah.
It's like something about the malls, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody doesn't like that's Tangratless. I know that.
I think because like the demographic is like a little, I guess, younger. You know, so
I could see that.
Yeah.
Do they ask you about your dad if you're without it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I guess it depends. Like if I'm with Angela or with my dad or by myself, like it's always different interactions. So it's cool.
You and your dad were also in a commercial. Tell us about that experience.
So my manager was actually the one who told me about the deal. He told me, he strung me along for a few weeks. He's like, dude, I got something in the works for you. It's super big. It's like, I don't want to tell you until it's like finalized and we get the deal. So I was actually at a Rangers game. I was at MSG with a bunch of
Yes. We are resident Rangers fan.
Come on, so much. Made my week, I'm telling you.
Yeah, so we were at a Rangers game at MSG, and he's like, dude, I got to call you. I'm like, I'm at the Rangers game. I was like, we can't talk right now. And he's like, dude, I have to. I'm like, all right. So I just like step out and hopped on the phone with him. He's like, so that thing I've been meaning to tell you about. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And he's like, so I got you a TV commercial. He's like, we're gonna finalize it. Obviously, we got to go over the numbers, logistics of everything. But he's like, you're gonna be in like a TV commercial. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this, like. I didn't even know how to react. Like, it was just so insane because, you know, we're just so used to the social media and doing sponsorships there. But,
being
like,
behind a phone.
Yeah, but, like, the thought of being, like, on a commercial on TV, national TV, was just like, what? So I remember I didn't even go back to my seats for, like, 40 minutes. I was just, like, calling so many people, like my parents and Angela and all these other friends and stuff. So, yeah, it was such a cool experience. There was a lot of preparation, of course, but we flew down to Houston, Texas. We got like a staged house that looked like my house at home, which was like so cool. They like designed the interior to make it look like my house, my bathroom, everything. They hung up pictures of us on the wall, which was so weird. It was so cool. But yeah, we filmed it in one day. It was like a 13-hour day of filming. Wow. A lot. Yeah, it was intense. It was pretty intense. I had shaving cream on my face for like 4 hours. It was cool. It was such a cool experience. And I think, like, it was such a fast turnaround. Like, as soon as we were done filming, the commercial came out, like, 2.5 weeks later, like, on TV. I haven't seen it on TV yet, but I've been trying to.
So, actually, someone who works at Newsday, we were talking about how you were coming in for an interview, and they were like, wait, I saw him and his dad on TV
last night. Yeah. I was like, what are the chances?
Yeah. So,
that's so funny.
Yeah, I've seen it, like, on a YouTube ad, I think, like before I was watching one of my YouTube videos, which was cool.
That's a surreal moment.
Yeah, I was kind of just like, you know, like ads. I wasn't watching them in the beginning, and then I heard, I was like, oh wait, no way.
That's me.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an unreal experience, and for my dad and I both, and it was just really, really, really fun, really cool.
What's next for you? Like, what is your goals for your social media pages? Mm-hmm. You know, do you have anything in the works that you can talk to us about?
Yeah. I mean, we're just expanding. I mean, we're, you know, it started just with TikTok and Instagram, and then, you know, now we're posting a lot on Snapchat. We're posting on Facebook. We're posting on YouTube, and those channels are just, you know, growing exponentially, and we're just so, you know, happy with that. And then outside of social media, obviously, the commercials would be awesome to continue to do stuff like that. And I am launching, not sure exactly when, but I am launching sort of like an educational course on social media. I know courses have such like I feel like a negative connotation to it when people's like, you know, buy my course and make $1 million, like stuff like that. But, you know, I've been working on this for well over a year now, and that's the reason we haven't launched it, is because I want it just to be absolutely perfect. And because I've helped so many of my close friends and other people like start their social media, grow their social media, and start monetizing their content and stuff like that. And I just think the power of social media is just so life-changing, and I really do want to like inspire people and help them out, and you know, so we had the idea, and I created a course, and it's not just only going to be video courses, but it's going to be very interactive too, where we're going to like send you weekly trends to do and stuff like it's going to be really cool. It's like very involved, so I'm super excited about
Is it like online based only, or are you planning to have like in-person sessions?
Yeah, so it right now all the courses will be on like a specific website, but we're going to like build out the social media pages for those as well, and then obviously like doing in-person stuff and like interviews with other social media creators and like incorporating them into it, like will just be really cool. So there's a lot of work going into that. We have a lot of people working on it, but like no specific date in mind yet, but that's something that kind of outside of social media, or about social media.
Definitely around it.
Yeah,
for sure.
something we're working on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so different too.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard many people doing something like that.
Yeah, I've definitely seen my fair share of like get rich quick, courses and stuff that, and that's why like I hate using the word course because I don't want people to think it's like a money grab or whatever. But it's just I'm just so excited.
What advice would you give young Long Islanders who want to use social media for their business?
I mean, it sounds cliche, but you just have to post. You got to do it. You got to not worry about what people think. I think a lot of people get caught up in the views and the numbers and the comments and the negative feedback that they're getting, whether it's from their family or their friends or close people or people in their town. And like when I first started, there was a lot of people saying like, you're wasting your time. And people in my town hearing through other people that it's like, oh, it's stupid. You're never going to make money. Never going to do this. Never going to do that. But I think if it's something that you're passionate about, like you got to have fun with it. Don't focus so much on the numbers and the views. Like I said, like post what makes you happy and just enjoy every moment and the whole process of it. Because while it is, I consider it a job. While it is that, it's also so much fun. Like I enjoy the filming, the editing, setting up lights. Like I enjoy all of that. And I think if you really take it seriously and you work at it 7 days a week, I think it could be life-changing.